Welcome to Wax Pack Wisdom, where we talk basketball history through card breaks and the cards we love. My name is Jake T. O'Donnell. Today we're opening this pack of 92-93 Skybox. So let's see what we get. This is a nice foil pack, which was kind of more of the vogue after the wax packs kind of ended. We still call it wax, right? But these are foil cards, foil pack. You know what I meant to say. All right. It's just such a nice set of cards here. All right, so we're gonna start out. These cards are a little bit bent, but Derek Harper is the first card with the Dallas Mavericks. It's a little strange to me to see the Mavericks with their green uniforms. It's been a long time since green was part of the sort of the color palette for the Dallas Mavericks. Derek wants to learn how to play the sax himself. Well, hopefully he does. Derek Harper was an 11th overall draft pick back in '83 with Dallas, and he also averaged 14 points for his career. So at this point, pretty good career there for Derek Harper. And that's a really great shot. I like and I think what we're going to see in this set is the sort of light, or maybe flame, or maybe you call those flames coming off the ball when these guys are doing their thing. The next one is Horace Grant, who was a critical part of the '90s Bulls teams with Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan, and later on Dennis Rodman. Horace Grant wore the really cool rec specs. You can see that's a great shot right there of him. Tossing them on. He enjoyed studying Greek mythology at Clemson. Interesting. It's deep. Horace Grant was a really good player, and definitely somebody who was a nice role player on those teams for the Bulls. Next up is, I guess, a Hall of Famer. Right, Joe Dumars, and he was the shooting guard on these great Bad Boy Pistons teams. That the backcourt was Isaiah Thomas, one of the greatest point guards of all time, and Joe Dumars, who was an excellent shooting guard, and they complemented each other very well. And they were, Dumars was more of a scorer, averaging 15 points a game in his career. Isaiah Thomas's favorite athlete in the McNeese State Media Guide. There you go. They of course, those guys end up getting to play together for quite a few years. And Dumars eventually goes on and is the head of basketball operations for the Pistons, and maybe didn't necessarily do the greatest job there, but hey, someone had to do it, and it was Joe Dumars. So there's Dumars. Here is Coach Bob Hill, with the Pacers, and you kind of see the early '90s style of the coaches there. But the Pacers they have Reggie Miller, but they are heading into a better era going on later on in the '90s once Larry Brown becomes their head coach. So, all right, that is Bob Hill. This one's a kind of a cool card. This is a 92. There's another card that's a little bit stuck to it. There we go. 92 NBA Finals. There's the Bulls. They won it. And let's just kind of read what it says on the back. The third team in a row to win back-to-back NBA titles. Chicago established itself as one of the best NBA teams of all time. They lost just 15 games in the regular season, posted a record of 67-15, 10 games better than anyone else. They answered every playoff challenge en route to title number 2. So there you go. Yep. So I'm not as good at remembering who won what year. I kind of think this was the year that they beat the Blazers, but I'm not as good. I'm not as good with that stuff as I am with baseball. But there you see Michael Jordan, and this is the first card that I've pulled out of any of these basketball packs that pretty much has Jordan on it at all. So that's a good thing. One of the all-time greats, of course, one of the greatest dynasties in NBA history. There you go. So another Hall of Famer here is Wes Unseld as a player, and this is when he was the coach of the Bullets before they became the Wizards. Wes Unseld, really a legend in that franchise for all of his years playing. He was a player on the team. There was a late 70s Bullets team that won the NBA title. Unseld was a star of that, and then he ends up being the coach later on. I think he was also kind of the GM at one point too. But one of the best, most important names in NBA history is Wes Unseld. There's no question about that. So there you go. Timberwolves, Jerome Richardson, and let's kind of look at the back here. He was a first round pick in 1989. And oh yeah, his nickname was Pooh. There you go. And you kind of see it says Pooh right there. But Jerome Pooh Richardson was a guard for the Timberwolves for quite a few years. All right. Here is Xavier McDaniel, who was a big guy, big tough guy down low with the Knicks. Really good player, and one of the sort of like tough guys in the down low with the Knicks as they sort of enter into this really solid era for the in the mid 90s, because it looks like he had also been with the Sonics, the Supersonics, before they, of course, are RIP to the great Supersonics. But anyway, there's Xavier McDaniel. Next up is Rudy Tomjanovich as a coach, one of the great coaches in NBA history. I believe a Hall of Fame head coach. If not, he should be. All great years with the Rockets. So again, the Rockets are the prime beneficiary of Michael Jordan's first retirement. They win the title 2 years in a row. They have Hakeem Olajuwon. They have a bunch of other great players on those teams too. Of course, some of the lower players, Kenny the Jet Smith. Also, Sam Cassell is on those teams, and they've got that was a special group. And Rudy Tomjanovich is the coach there. I would think that's sort of famously where he gets on the microphone and says, the thing about never underestimate the heart of a champion. That's what he's, I feel like, best remembered for. Of course, one of the things that Rudy Tomjanovich, unfortunately, is best remembered for was the punch that he took from Kermit Washington in the late 70s. That was just one of the most awful incidents in the history of the NBA. He smacks the back of his head. He almost died. It's kind of a miracle he lived, honestly. Smacked the back of his head on the court, and but he lived through that. And then, of course, goes on and has this great NBA coaching career. He also was the coach of the. He was also the coach of the Lakers at one point too. So there you go. That is Rudy Tomjanovich. Next up is B.J. Armstrong, who I think we've talked about a little bit, also with these great Bulls teams, these great '90s Bulls teams, and the guys that came and went through that group. Him being one of them, sort of one of the sort of backups to Michael Jordan. All right, I'm going to kind of flip through these a little bit. John Williams, not the John Williams who was the conductor and the composer, and then Darrell Walker with the Pistons as well. Again, sort of the throes of the Bad Boy Pistons era. All right, so we're going to finish off with, I've never really done this on one of these before, but because he's there, I think we kind of have to end here with the back of this NBA Champions card that has Michael Jordan on it. So that is going to do it for this edition of Wax Pack Wisdom. Tell us what you thought of today's break. Who's your favorite player that we pulled from this pack? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear it. We'd love to hear a story about one of these guys. Maybe somebody I glossed over that I don't know a ton about, because I'm still kind of learning about early 90s NBA stuff as I sort of go through these packs that I have, and I'd love to share with you on this channel. If you enjoyed this video, we do invite you to give it a like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our Wax Pack Wisdom content. In the video description, you can find links to where you can follow Wax Pack Wisdom on all social media channels. You'll also find a link to a list of our favorite nonprofits and charities. If you enjoyed this video, please consider a donation to one of those organizations. It would mean a lot to us. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next time on Wax Pack Wisdom. Take care.